Okay, in this video we're going to wash the motor on a 911-991. Blue tape, cling wrap, some kind of degreaser. I like super clean. We're going to go ahead and remove the air box. I'll show you why as we do it. I want to clean these screens, and you can't really do that unless these filters are out. And the reason I like super clean is because you don't have to really touch it to get it to lift the dirt and the grime. I think it works better than gunk or other engine cleaners. And the problem with super clean is it dries out plastic. So you'll have to make sure to re-lubricate all the plastic with something. I'm going to use T9. I'll show you that. But you've got to re-lubricate all the plastic with something when everything is bone dry. Now what I've done already is put 2 coats of T9 all over this engine. And the reason why I did that is to make sure that the T9 settled into all of these vacuum lines, these electrical connectors. You know, they're waterproof anyway, but I just wanted to be, super sure that I don't get any water in there. So this airbox has these breather screens right here, which I believe are for sound, also down here, but we don't want to get any water here. So I'm just going to tape this off. I could use a bit of viscreen or something. I could use the saran wrap, but I'll show you where I'm going to use that later. Now, if any water did accidentally get in here, it's nearly impossible for it to go up. You'd have to intentionally shoot it in there, which we're not going to do. All this really is to just guard against any accidental water getting in there. I'm not going to spray this area directly, so I'm not that worried about it. Since I have these off, it doesn't matter because the water is just going to pour out here. So I don't need to worry about that. I do need to worry about some of these connections. This one right here, this is for the wing. So I'm just going to wrap that in saran wrap. We've got these connections over here. Going to do is just make kind of a little shield so that they don't, water does not go down into the top of those. So then I'm going to take some saran wrap and put it over the alternator. And you'll see we're not going to, if anything, it's to protect the cleaner from getting into the alternator a little bit more than it would be the water, because the alternator can get a little wet and it's not going to hurt it. But I just want to put a shield here so the water will go around and under the alternator versus get it soaked. And that's it. Those are the only areas that I'm really concerned about. So I'm going to give this a good coat. Now I should mention that the engine is slightly warm. It's not warm enough to have any steam come off of it. But it is warm enough. You know, I just heated it up for about 5 minutes. All right, just let that sit for a minute and get the saran wrap and the tape out of the way. I had already washed the outside of this air box the last time I changed the air filter, so you know, that box is pretty clean. Doesn't have to soak for long. I'm gonna go get the hose. And more importantly than soaking, you don't want this to dry. So I'm doing this, you know, pretty late in the evening. You can tell by the lighting. And it's not going to evaporate quickly, which is what I want. So I have to be careful. I don't want to get any water in here because that's actually carpet. So I'm just going to dry these first. And put the air box back on because I don't want anything flying in there, a bug or something. I let it run for about 10 minutes. You can see it starting to steam off. And then once I'm convinced that it's completely dry, I'll spray it down with T9. I ran the car for at least 15 minutes. I also drove it around the block. And now I'm going to go ahead and spray everything that I can reach with T9. And you might notice I do actually have the wing out. The wing went here. If you watch the rest of my videos, you'll see the plenum install. And I'm just cleaning the motor while the plenum, or while it's all apart. This is T9. I think it is the best product for this application. It'll lubricate plastics. It'll waterproof to some degree. It'll protect from corrosion. But the best thing about this stuff is it dries like a waxy, it dries to a waxy finish. It's not sticky. So once it's dry, it's not going to collect any dirt. It'll just protect. So I'm going to put a light coat on basically everything. And I am going to take some degree of care, like as if I'm spray painting, because I want it to be even. Really see almost any of this when the car is back together, but just the fact that I will know that everything in here is clean and protected, it just warms my heart. I think we're done. I'm going to pull the car back in. I'm actually going to let it run for another couple minutes, and then I'm going to put a big box fan on this overnight. So that's going to be the overnight setup, and I'll let this fan run basically right at the motor all night, and that will dry any little bit of water that got missed. So you can see it's just beautiful. I mean, very, very clean. I noticed that this bit of soundproofing right here is falling, so I'm gonna spread some epoxy on that when it's dry and just tape it right back in position. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now because that'll be dry in the morning, but we'll leave it overnight. And then we'll give it a final inspection in the morning. All right, here we are in the morning, and you can see that this is all dry to the touch. It's not going to collect any dust. The engine looks fantastic. Here's where I glued that. There we go. So that glued back in place perfectly. No dirt or grime anywhere. All right, so that is how you clean your 991 engine. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.